joined by UMass Boston softball senior pitcher Jessica Greenspan. Jess, what have you been doing down in Connecticut?
Not too much, just kind of hanging out with my parents right now, keeping up with schoolwork. We have classes on Mondays pretty much all day, and then some clinical meetings, a bunch of assignments that have been added to our syllabus. So just trying to keep up with all the work and get it all done.
Fair enough. Softball players were in kind of an interesting spot because you didn't get to play that first game of the season, much less that last game. How have you been dealing with not only losing part of your senior season, but losing the entire senior season, not getting to throw that first pitch of the year?
It's definitely been pretty rough. A lot of tears when we found out the season was canceled. Knowing that my last pitch was thrown at an indoor scrimmage on a track is kind of hard. But it's definitely been rough on all of us to know that we never got that chance. We went through all of our 5 a.m.s. We went through all the lifts with Jess and did all of the hard work and really never got to show it. So that's been pretty rough.
Is there any benefit to getting to do all that hard work with your senior group? Obviously, you'd like to play in the games, you'd like to put up the W's and the individual marks, but you guys were a pretty tight-knit group of four that started a little bit bigger when you guys were freshmen, but have enjoyed so much success, and it seemed like so many good times between the four of you.
Yeah, the four of us have had a lot of good times. We've had the up and downs and all that, but I think being with the four of us and going through this has been something really special that we'll obviously never forget, and we've all been there for each other. We've been FaceTiming and texting all the time, just kind of talking about all the good times and what the future holds for all of us. I know we're all super upset that we didn't get to play. We all had our own goals for this season, but we definitely have the memories of the past three. So it's been good with the four of us together and talking to each other a lot.
I like the fact that you brought up goals because I was kind of wondering what your goals were for this year. As a junior, you pretty much collected every single career program record you hadn't already grabbed as a sophomore. What were those individual goals for you going into your senior year?
The senior year, I was actually really excited to get out there. This is the first full winter preseason that I was able to practice and throw full to batters. It was the first time I wasn't coming off a surgery or an injury since my freshman year. So I had been doing a lot of work on and off the field and in the weight room. So I had learned a rise ball and was actually ready to start using that more. I kind of had it in the bag before, but I didn't really throw it that much. So I was excited to use that. I was really just excited to kind of get back into the form I was in my freshman year. Work on more of like a strikeout pitch that I haven't had in the past and just kind of relying on my defense for different situations. So I was really excited to get out there, but that was kind of my goal, just kind of get back to where I was my freshman year, being healthy and all that. So
now you're not going to come back next year. We'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later, but are you going to continue to play softball at whatever competitive level? But I know there's some summer leagues. There's some other things that you can possibly do, even if it's just like a slow pitch league. It just seems like you and your family are very passionate about the sport, and clearly you're still very excited talking about pitches that you won't get to throw to batters this year. Is that something you're going to try to pursue, even if it is maybe a little bit less competitive than you're used to?
Yeah, I definitely don't want to be done. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's really a chance for me to come back to UMass Boston right now, going into be a nurse next year and all that. But for my family, it's been really tough. I mean, my dad's been my coach since T-ball. He's been my catcher. My mom's been at all of my games, so it's kind of a loss for all of us. So I know they'd love to see me keep playing. So I think maybe like a summer league, kind of like a relaxed league, is definitely something I would look into. Maybe play with some of my friends again. I used to play in the summer back home with girls from all over the state who I've played with since we were little. So I think maybe looking into something like that would definitely be a way I want to continue to play and kind of help out some of the other people that I know are still playing with all that. So
you wrap up your career, and typically we say one of, if not the best, but I think I can pretty confidently say from every single career record that you hold as the best statistical pitcher in program history. What does that mean to you? I mean, you came in as a freshman and you were supposed to be the number 2 pitcher behind Andy Thomas, who had had an unbelievable year the year before as a freshman. And your second collegiate start, you threw a no-hitter, and then you were the pitcher of the year as a freshman, won all of these awards, both in the conference and then in the postseason. What does it mean to go down as the most dominant pitcher in program history?
It really means a lot. Coming in as a freshman, I obviously had no idea that would happen. I came off a pretty successful high school career, made it to the state championship game. Unfortunately, didn't win that. But I had improved a lot my senior year, but never thought I would be, I guess, as dominant in college as I was in high school. So I think coming in as a freshman, I did not expect to throw as much as I did, becoming the only pitcher that was healthy and able to pitch as a freshman was definitely a task that I was not prepared for, I guess, but something that I ended up actually really enjoying playing every single inning of every single game. It was tough, but I think being a freshman and being put in those stressful situations really helped me throughout all those years and through every situation that I faced later on. So I think having all those records was not ever in my plan or goals that I had really set for myself, but it really shows a lot that I can be known as that pitcher from UMass Boston who has all those records and broke them in 3 years because I didn't have the fourth year to kind of keep pressing forward with those.
Yeah, you didn't have the fourth year to pad some of those leads over some of the players who came before you.
Yeah, there were some other things that I wanted to work on. I know I had just broken the strikeout record, so I wanted to try and obviously add some more strikeouts to that, but won't have that opportunity right now.
Jess, is there one moment that you're always going to be able to look back on and really enjoy having that moment, whether it's individual or a team accomplishment from the past 3 years or even the past 4 years, if there was something that happened previous to the start of the season?
There's so many memories and good times on and off the field, but I think the one game that really plays back in my mind is regionals my freshman year against Salve Regina. We were up, I think, 2-0 and ended up having a rocky either 6th or 7th inning, and we gave up the 2 runs. And we battled back and got runners on base, and Roxanne ended up hitting a walk-off home run, come in a clutch, and just the celebration from our team knowing that we were going into the regional championship, something that no one had ever thought we would do, was just amazing.
So let's turn to your future career. You're a second semester senior. You're studying nursing, which is one of those positions that's only going to become more important as we go along. What do you, as all of this unfolds, as we hear from a lot of doctors and nurses on social media telling us how bad this is, what they're really facing, what are you kind of thinking about when you see this stuff? Are you in contact with any nurses that maybe graduated before you did? What can you kind of take away from this situation as someone who's not on the front lines right now but might be there in the future?
Yeah, right now it's a really crazy time for all nurses and anyone in the medical field. A couple of my friends have recently graduated and are new grads working, and just the conditions that they're put under and the stress is something that they're not used to or weren't really expecting. Their job descriptions have switched tremendously. We have clinical meetings every week, and our instructor works at Brigham and Women's, and she's being trained as an ICU nurse and was used to work in the outpatient setting. So just the changes in their jobs right now are drastic and something that you don't think about. But I think being a soon-to-be new nurse is something that you kind of consider. I know a couple of our professors are throwing together different classes for us so that we have more knowledge of respiratory illnesses and ventilators, so that when we are in the work field, we have a little bit of background on these situations and how to take care of patients.
Does this make you more excited to graduate and potentially be working at a hospital post May? Are you proud of what's going on in your profession? Kind of what are your thoughts specifically about the profession that you're going into?
It definitely makes me want to be a nurse even more. I mean, all our professors joke and they're like, does this make you not want to be a nurse anymore? But I think for me, it's like these nurses are working so hard and getting so much credit for everything they're doing. And I think it's really interesting because nurses do this obviously on a lower scale every day, but it's in this pandemic, people are so quick to give thanks to all these nurses and medical workers and realize what we do every day. So I'm really excited to get out there, hopefully soon with all the delays and everything, but I'm really excited to be a nurse.
With that, you've got to finish up this last semester. Graduation, whether virtual or not, should be at some point in May. You'll receive that diploma. What do you want to do specifically in nursing? What would be your ideal situation in terms of what kind of nursing, what location, where do you kind of want to end up?
I definitely want to go back to Boston and work in one of the Boston hospitals, whether for my first year it be a smaller outside hospital and then gradually progress into one of the bigger hospitals like Brigham or Children's or something like that. But I would like to eventually be an ER nurse. All the hectic craziness, I feel like I've kind of had my whole life being a student athlete and in the nursing program and all that, so I really would like to do that. But for my first year, I kind of want to work on a med-surg floor and just work with a different variety of patients so I can have that background knowledge and then be able to apply it into the ER.
Well, Jess, it's really exciting to hear your positivity and optimism. And it's great to have more nurses going in because certainly the nurses out there are working extremely hard and can use all the help they can get. It was great catching up with you. Good luck, and hopefully there's some more softball in your future as well.
Thank you, Seth.